खुद्दाम अहमदियत खुद्दाम अहमदियत खुद्दाम अहमदियत खुद्दाम अहमदियत
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض.
In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful. Allah, there is no God save Him, the living, the self-subsisting, and all-sustaining. Slumber seizes Him not, nor sleep. To Him belongs whatsoever is in the heavens and whatsoever is in the earth. Who is he that dare intercede with him, save by his permission? He knows what is before them and what is behind them, and they encompass nothing of his knowledge except what he pleases.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful. Welcome, my dear guests, to this question and answer session. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association in the Midlands to welcome all of you and to have made the effort to come here and join us. It gives me also great pleasure to welcome our special guest, Ataul Mujeeb, Rashed Sahib, who's come from the London Mosque in Southfields today. Ataul Mujeeb Rashed Sahib is a great scholar of contemporary religions and contemporary issues and world religions. He's, in his time, spent in Japan and came to the UK in 1984, where he's been the Imam of the London Mosque. So that's the leader, the missionary in charge of the London Mosque, and missionary in charge of the UK throughout. Since then, he's delivered a variety of lectures throughout the UK, which have been very well received and have been very informative for the audience. The Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association is a part of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which is a worldwide branch of Islam. We believe, our fundamental belief is that the Imam of the time, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, is that promised Messiah which was prophesied by all world religion, major world religions. And the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in the UK is just one branch of over 190 branches throughout the world. We have throughout the world followers extending more than 160 million. In the UK alone, we have over 80 branches. The Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association is one of those subdivisions within the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and it serves the community in its humanitarian work, where you would have seen in places like Haiti and in various charity organizations, our youth are at the forefront, especially in things like blood donation services, where even in this mosque, we held our very first blood donation service in March. So as you can see, there's a very altruistic nature to the youth of the community, which we embody in them from a very young age. And it gives me a very great pleasure to invite Imam Sahib today to talk to you about the topic of Islam's response to terrorism, as this is a very poignant topic and it's a very current topic, and I'm sure you will enjoy the evening as much as we enjoy having Imam Sahib here. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Imam Sahib.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, ever merciful. Very respected ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for me to stand before you this evening and to speak on a very pertinent subject as it has been introduced just now, the Islamic point of view or Islam's response to terrorism. This subject of terrorism is actually one of the most important and burning subject of the day. As a matter of fact, the whole world is in the clutches of terrorism today. And in many countries, we have seen in the recent past as well that some very innocent people, they have been subjected to act of terrorism, and the innocent blood of those people, even they were busy in worship in Lahore, in Pakistan, they were butchered mercilessly, and nearly 100 people, they were martyred on that occasion. Apart from that, elsewhere in the world, there are occasions of terrorism which has not only resulted in the loss of innocent lives, but also it has affected on the day-to-day life of people, whether they are directly affected by terrorism or not. Even those people, our government, they are spending a lot of money in order to control this trend which is going on. And the pace of industrial development and the progress of community is also being impaired as a result of this terrorism. Various means are being adopted to avert any action of these terrorist people by way of screening the people at the airports and making all the checks here and there and various arrangements to find out who the culprits are. The net result of the whole situation is that the life has become very uncertain, very unsure, and very unpleasant for everybody on this planet. So in this context, the question has been raised that what is the response of Islam to terrorism? It's really very interesting, first of all, for all of us to find out exactly how the dictionary has defined the word terrorism. We use this word very often, but maybe some of us did not have any time to look into the dictionary to find out what exactly the term terrorism means. Let me share with you. One dictionary has mentioned that the systematic use of violence and intimidation to achieve some goal, generally a political one, is defined as terrorism. So those people who are having some ulterior motive, and generally speaking it is a political one, and for that purpose, if they systematically resort to violence and intimidation of people, even to the extent of killing them in order to achieve their objective, the whole process is described as terrorism. Now in this context, if this is the definition of terrorism, in this context, if we look at the teachings of Islam, it looks very ironical that why people are trying to find out what is the response of Islam to terrorism. Islam by nature, Islam by its name, by the very name that has been given to this religion, Islam, it has got nothing to do with terrorism at all. Terrorism, violence, bloodshed, warfare, all these things, they have no relation whatsoever with the religion of Islam. Because if we look into what Islam stands for, what is the meaning of Islam, then we can easily understand that there should be no such question, as a matter of fact, what is the response of Islam to terrorism. It is simply that Islam does not believe in that, does not preach terrorism, and there is no room and no justification for anybody to attribute terrorism to Islam in any way.